It's a very dark album. The sound is dark.
I did not have a clear vision of what I was doing.
At this point, we're a pretty powerful live band. Loud, very aggressive, very unpredictable.
Machine Head was the first genuine break from touring to actually make a record.
Nobody gonna take my car, we're gonna race it to the ground. Nobody gonna take my car, we're gonna break the spirit sound. Oh,
I think Machine Head was the album where everything came together. All the elements came together correctly.
In the beginning, in '68, it was John was writing most of the music, and I would throw in some riffs.
As we were staggering into 1969, Richie and I particularly, but also Pacey the drummer, realised that the band was in danger of not being quite what we'd seen it as.
And we kind of flim-flammed around in certain areas before we found Ian Gillan and Roger Glover.
They weren't one of these natural groups that had formed as a result of schoolboys, meeting at school like the Beatles virtually did and like the Who did. They'd come together as experienced musicians.
John Lord has got this Hammond organ blues classical thing. Roger's a stinking hippie, anything folksy or whatever.
Always was.
Always will. Oh, yeah. And Richie was pure rock and roll, pop rock and roll, from the Joe Meek session days and all that sort of thing, and Screaming Lord Sutch and all that.
I think Ian Gillan and I had only done about 4 gigs when we did the Albert Hall. And it divided the band. Ian and I didn't quite know what to do, but Richie didn't like the orchestra thing.
The concerto, I think everybody always understood it was a labour of love for John, and one that we were happy to try and make a reality for him.
My point was, listen guys, this would be really truly experimental and weird and wonderful and different,
I wasn't happy with that. I wanted to play more rock-styled. And I said to John, look, let's give this heavy, riffy rock a chance and see how it goes. And if it doesn't work, then I'll play with orchestras the rest of my life.
Richie, not that he didn't enjoy it, but it wasn't particularly his thing. But he went along with it. And probably in retrospect, he probably did enjoy it if he thinks back.
It made Deep Purple in England. We were on the side of buses, posters on buses was like a big deal.
It wasn't until Led Zeppelin came along that we really had a direction. We thought, wow, that's the type of music that we want to play, the really heavy rock, the riffy kind of rock.
When we got in to do In Rock, it was, for all 5 of us, just a labour of love.
We recorded In Rock in between a lot of gigs. We were always a working band. And we'd come back from doing 4 or 5 days on the road, and we'd go in the studio for 2 days, do a couple of songs, go back out on the road.
It was decided that for the next album we had to at least go away and try and write something, a writing session. We found a sort of derelict, or practically derelict, damp, slightly haunted place down in North Devon, and I think wrote 3 or 4 songs.
Kind of lost the momentum a little bit with Fireball. It wasn't quite as all-out rock as In Rock was, and I don't think the songs were as memorable somehow.
Fireball gave us a chance to actually bring out what I always called the funk in the band, instead of just pure English rock.
The songs themselves were more experimental.
I know that Ian Gillan thinks it was probably one of our better records. To me, it was a little bit we slipped there. I don't think the ideas were there.
I think probably the most important thing we ever did behind the scenes, but it wasn't very well received.
I think it's musical. I think it takes hard rock of the time, the early 70s rock, to somewhere that it had never been before and that no one else was doing.
However, when we get to doing Machine Head, of course, there's a lot of pressure to doing what most people saw as a follow-up to Deep Purple in rock, which I think was the basic mindset behind it all. We got to get back to doing that rock stuff rather than the funky stuff.
The only thing I really contributed to Highway Star was the title and a couple of words and lines and stuff. It was really Ian's song.
That was written on a bus going down to Portsmouth. We were playing Portsmouth Guildhall, and we took some of the Filthy Press down with us because...
And they were in those days, weren't they? They were the same as us.
And Richie was dicking around on his banjo, and one of them said, "Well, how do you write a song then?" And Richie went like this, and he just went ding 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 ding, and looked out the window, just playing
One note,
ding 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 ding. So I started singing, and we did the song in the show that night.
Richie really is the driving force behind this. He plays with such precision, that driving machine gun effect. A rare bass chord.